The Buddha said there's three kinds of happiness. There's external happiness, samisa sukha, which is based on the 5 chords of sensual pleasure, how we feed off the world and each other and sense experience. And not only does that type of pleasure and fulfillment fade quickly, and we have to keep seeking more and more, the hedonic treadmill, like drinking salt water. But it's also fragile in that it's predicated on us manipulating conditions around us to be as we hope they would be. And then when our partner doesn't behave like we wish they would, or our child doesn't, or we get injured or have to go to surgery or find ourselves at the end of our life unable to touch sensual pleasure like we used to, then we're bereft. And something in us knows this even now, the fragility of that situation, its precariousness. And so the Buddha raised up another kind of happiness he called Niramisa Sukha, otherworldly happiness, spiritual. And this is the happiness that comes from the cultivation of the luminous heart of samadhi, of loving kindness, of the blamelessness, of the bliss of being blameless. That's a phrase that's echoed with me ever since I read it in the suttas. One becomes sensitive to the pleasure of being blameless. Pure sila, purpose. And this happiness is our own. And external conditions can shift, and this is ours even then. So we quiet the mind to find an inner peace which is ours no matter what. And its one fragility is that it's impermanent, like all internal conditions. And so the Buddha held up one final level of happiness, which was nibbana, which is unshakable liberation of heart. And when the mind is calm and sees clearly that what is subject to origination is subject to cessation, Joseph Goldstein has the recollection of that insight arising, which is the insight that arises with the first glimpse of nibbana for many in the suttas. And he said the next thought that arose was, why want anything? And in that moment, the subtle leaning in the next moment that's always there stopped, and he found himself standing. This is not a dour teaching. When we open our hand from its palsied grasping, what we're left with is a palm filled with sunlight. But it takes time, and we have to stop shaking that bottle filled with water and debris and color, and the mind has become still enough that the debris settles, and we find ourselves staring at a clear mind, a clear heart that can see with wisdom and compassion, because the heart that is free operates only from those qualities of selflessness and the Brahma Viharas, the boundless abodes.